Right now, you're sitting in a cramped, hyper-expensive apartment in the center of Dubai. You're looking at your monthly bank statement, watching a massive percentage of your hard-earned income vanish into the pockets of your landlord. You justify the financial hemorrhage by telling yourself that living in an urban core is an absolute prerequisite of a successful career. You believe that paying a premium for a downtown zip code is the only way to maintain a manageable commute and stay connected to the pulse of the market. You're operating under a catastrophic geographical obsolete illusion. We are bypassing the premium of a central urban living entirely by leveraging the massive, newly activated 2026 high-speed transit corridor connecting peripheral hubs directly to the city core. We are going to demonstrate exactly how relocating to these emerging satellite districts slashes your housing cost by a staggering 40%, while maintaining a flawless 20-minute commute, effectively hacking the geography of a modern professional life. Before I completely deconstruct the death of an urban premium trap, expose the mathematical realities of the 2026 infrastructure shock, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to recapture your capital and expand your biological footprint, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop paying a premium for gridlock and noise, and the map of the Dubai has been violently redrawn. And the apex operators are exploiting the new geometry of the city. Grab a notebook, it is time to stop subsidizing your landlord's luxury lifestyle and start architecting your own sovereign real estate strategy. Welcome back, I'm Dr. HR. To understand why my approach to the geographic positioning, real estate economics, and the human capital is aggressively different from the aesthetic, superficial advice peddled by a real estate broker on social media, you must understand my underlying structural logic. I hold a PhD in Human Resources, a Master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a Bachelor's in Computer Engineering. I do not look at residential real estate as a status symbol. I look at it as a variable component in a complex mathematical equation that dictate your ultimate financial liquidity and cognitive bandwidth. Operating on the ground here in UAE, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities and analyzing the behavioral economic of a global elite, I have mapped exactly how top-tier professionals optimize their existence. Let us systematically deconstruct this lucrative arbitrage through 5 distinct phases: the urban premium trap, the 2026 infrastructure shock, the satellite district arbitrage, the space-time calculation, and the sovereign architecture. Phase 1, the urban premium trap, the geography of inflation. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating financial and biological leak that is destroying the modern professional's ability to build generational wealth in a major metropolis. When an ambitious professional relocates from India to Dubai in December 2025 to pursue elite new career opportunities, the default unthinking algorithm is to immediately rent a property in downtown Dubai, Business Bay or Dubai Marina. The logic seems sound on the surface, establishes proximity to the financial district, minimize the physical distance to the office, and integrate instantly into a high-velocity lifestyle of Dubai. However, this proximity comes at a massive compounding financial penalty. It is called the urban premium because millions of transient workers default to this exact same geographic assumption. The demand for the central square footage skyrockets, creating localized hyperinflation. You are forced to pay 180,000 AED or more annually for a noisy, cramped 2-bedroom concrete box suspended in the sky. You are paying a premium for a zip code, but you are sacrificing your foundational wealth. Furthermore, we must evaluate the biological and the logical toll of this environment. If you are managing the logistics of raising a 5-year-old child, a cramped high-rise apartment becomes a biological pressure cooker. Children require physical space, access to unpolluted nature, dedicated play zones, and community infrastructure. When you force a family unit into a hyper-dense urban corridor, you dramatically increases the baseline cortisol level of the entire household. The lack of acoustic privacy, the constant hum of traffic, and the sheer claustrophobia of high-density living actively degrade your cognitive processing speed and your executive function. You're paying top-tier luxury price for a lifestyle that fundamentally restricts your operational bandwidth. You're trapped in a system where your income scales linearly, but your cost of living scales exponentially. You cannot build a fortified, unshakable financial future if your primary geographic strategy consists of handling 40% of your net income to a holding company every single month. The urban core is a financial trap designed to get the maximum amount of capital from the professionals who are too afraid to look at a broader map. Phase 2, the 2026 infrastructure shock. Value stream mapping the grid. To escape this trap, we must apply rigorous engineering logic to the physical layout of the city. We must execute Lean Six Sigma methodologies and the value stream mapping directly onto the transit grid of Dubai. In traditional corporate HR and operational management, the value stream mapping is a process of identifying every single step in a workflow and relentlessly stripping away the wasted time, friction, and latency to create a perfectly optimized flow of value. In the 2026, the UAE government has executed the ultimate value stream map on its own physical infrastructure. The geography of the city has violently shifted. We are currently experiencing the 2026 infrastructure shock. Amateurs are still looking at Google Maps using mental models from 2023. They do not realize that the friction of the periphery has been systematically eradicated. Look at the raw, undeniable data of a transport revolution occurring right now. In the 2026, the highly anticipated Etihad Rail passenger services officially launches, connecting the Emirates with unprecedented high-speed transit. A critical, confirmed station is located in Jumeirah Golf Estates, fundamentally altering the movement dynamics of our southern corridors. Simultaneously, the Road and Transport Authority (RTA) has unleashed a barrage of massive road expansions to eliminate historic choke points. The Hessa Street development project Phase 1 has widened the critical artery between Al Khail Road and Road to 4 lanes in each direction, tearing down the notorious bottlenecks. At the intersection of the Al Qudra Road, a massive new bridge has nearly tripled the junction's capacity from 6,600 to 19,200 vehicles per hour, slicing waiting time by 55%. The new bridge on the World Trade Center corridor has reduced the roundabout delays from 12 minutes to a staggering 90 seconds. Furthermore, the groundbreaking for the Dubai Metro Blue Line is actively reshaping the future valuation of the district, stretching outwards toward Dubai Silicon Oasis, Academic City, and Dubai Creek Harbour. While the imminent launch of the commercial aerial mobility, the flying taxi, promises to compress the cross-city travel into minutes. The geographic bottleneck has been broken. The traditional excuse that living outside the urban core result in a soul-crushing 2-hour commute is no longer mathematically valid. The Etihad Rail has subsidized your geographical mobility. The 20 minutes commute radius has exploded violently outward, absorbing vast tracts of peripheral land into a high-speed grid. Phase 3, the satellite district arbitrage, the 40% delta. What does an apex operator do when the underlying infrastructure of a market changes? They execute the aggressive arbitrage. Arbitrage is a simultaneous purchase and the sale of an asset in different markets to exploit an inefficiency. In this context, we are executing the satellite district arbitrage. You abandon the hyperinflated urban core and target the emerging high-growth satellite communities that are now plugged directly into the new high-speed transit arteries. You look towards the expanded parameters of Jumeirah Village Circle (JVC) and sprawling green expanses of Nad Al Sheba, or the rapidly accelerating master plan of Dubai South near Al Maktoum International Airport. When you shift your coordinate to these emerging nodes, the financial mathematics flips entirely in your favor. You instantly slash your annual housing cost by 40%. Instead of deploying 180,000 AED for a noisy, cramped apartment in Business Bay, you allocate 108,000 AED for a sprawling multi-level townhouse or a premium villa in a mastered planned community. You are paying significantly less capital, but you are acquiring a massive physical asset. You secure private gardens, you acquire dedicated parking infrastructure, you gain immediate access to wide, calm streets, dedicated cycling tracks, and world-class educational hub for your family. You remove your child from a biological pressure cooker of a high-rise and place them in an environment designed for holistic, low-cortisol growth You are capturing the exact same Tier 1 Dubai salary, but you are paying emerging district operational overheads. The 40% delta that you have just extracted from the landlord's pocket does not disappear into the lifestyle creep. It becomes your primary vehicle for sovereign wealth generation. You have successfully hacked the geographic pricing model of the city, buying elite square footage at a massive discount simply because the legacy market has not yet realized how fast the new transit corridors actually are. Phase 4, the space-time calculation, the mathematics of mobility. The immediate reflexive objection from the amateur professional is always the commute. They look at the 2D map, they see the physical distance between the Dubai South or Nad Al Sheba and their office in the DIFC, and they panic. They assume that physical distance automatically equates to lost time. They are failing to execute the space-time calculation. The amateur believe that distance equals time. The apex operator understands the fundamental physics of the modern urban mobility. Velocity and infrastructure equal time. Let us run the real-world numbers. If you live in Dubai Marina and work in downtown Dubai, the physical distance is only 20 kilometers. But during 8:30 a.m. rush hour, you are forced to navigate the localized gridlock of the Marina exit, the brutal congestion of the road bottleneck, and the slow, agonizing crawl of a downtime parking structures. The 20-kilometer journey easily consumes 45 to 55 minutes of a high-stress, brake-tapping, adrenaline-spiking misery. Now calculate the commute from Satellite District utilizing the 2026 infrastructure shock. You're traveling 35 kilometers, but you're utilizing the newly expanded free-flowing capacity of Al Qudra bridges, the widened Hessa Street or the Al Khail upgrades. You merge onto a multi-lane highway moving consistently at 100 to 120 km per hour. You cover nearly double the physical distance, but you execute the journey in 25 minutes. You have not sacrificed your commute, you have optimized it. You traded 45 minutes of localized high-density frustration for 25 minutes of high-speed continuous movement. Furthermore, if your office aligned with the new Etihad Rail passenger station, you can bypass the road network entirely, transforming your commute into a highly productive, frictionless block of deep work time on a high-speed train. By riding the wave of the 2026 transit infrastructure, you maintain the exact same operational proximity to the urban core while completely insulating yourself from an urban premium. You have separated your physical coordinates for your own economic output. Phase 5, the sovereign architecture, reallocating the capital. You have diagnosed the trap, analyzed the transit grid, executed the arbitrage, and validated the commute. The final phase is the most critical. What do you actually do with the massive influx of a reclaimed capital and expanded physical space? You must build your sovereign architecture. A 40% reduction in your housing cost is a life-altering sum of money. You do not let this capital sit idle in a checking account to be devoured by inflation. You treat your personal finances with the exact same ruthless, analytical rigor that a sovereign wealth fund applies to its global portfolio. You build a complex, interactive Excel dashboard. You meticulously map your reclaimed capital against real estate developer pipeline across the UAE. You track the ROI of off-plan investment in exact same satellite district you just moved to. Recognizing that as a blue line and the Etihad Rail reaches full capacity, the property valuations in these peripheral hubs will inevitably spike. You use your 40% saving to secure equity in a very infrastructural boom you are currently riding. But the sovereign architecture extends beyond the financial capital. It applies to your newly acquired physical space. If your cramped Marina apartment, you barely had room for a dining table, in your new spacious townhouse, you possess an entirely empty, dedicated room. You do not fill it with useless furniture, you weaponize the square footage. You utilize the extra bedroom to construct a high-fidelity, acoustic-treated digital broadcasting studio. You set up your elite cine gear, say like Sony FX series camera. You establish a professional 3-point cinematic lightning grid. You import your raw 10-bit footage and color grade it flawlessly using advanced node-based architecture of DaVinci Resolve 20. You have built the physical infrastructure required to launch the scale, let's say, your Dr. HR digital media empire. You have created a dedicated, distraction-free laboratory to broadcast your operational dominance, record elite video essays, and project your high-level executive authority directly into the global market. You took the capital you saved from escaping the urban trap and you used it to fund the physical hardware and acoustic environment required to scale your personal brand to the apex level. You transformed a simple geographic relocation into an impenetrable media and financial fort. Look closely at the financial and the geographic assumption you are blindly following. The traditional expat playbook tells you to rent the most expensive apartment you can tolerate, as close to the city center as possible, and to grind through the daily congestion as a necessary cost of success. The true apex operators completely reject this aesthetic vanity. They understand that the 2026 infrastructure shock has fundamentally broken the laws of Dubai real estate. They execute the value stream mapping on their own lives. They leverage the expanded Al Qudra bridges, the Hessa Street upgrades, and the upcoming Etihad Rail network to decouple their living expenses from their earning capacity. They execute the satellite district arbitrage. They slash their housing costs by 40%. They reclaim massive amount of premium square footage, and they utilize the space to build their interactive financial dashboards and high-fidelity broadcasting studios. Stop subsidizing the hyperinflated urban core. Hack the geographic grid, optimize your commute, and buy back your financial and operational freedom years before your colleagues even realize the map has changed. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I'll see you at the top.